Mount Huangshan is one of the top 10 scenic spots in China and also a national 5A tourist attraction. It is as famous as the Yangtze River, the Great Wall, and the Yellow River in China. Since ancient times, there has been a saying that 5 mountains return without looking at the mountains, and Mount Huangshan returned without looking at the mountains. Especially the snow scenery in winter is considered to be a natural wonder that cannot be missed. In other words, the scenery of Mount Huangshan Mountain is even better than the 5 most famous mountains in China. Friends who want to learn about those 5 mountains can refer to my previous videos. Legend has it that in ancient China, there was a yellow emperor named Zhuang Yuan who practiced and refined alchemy here. According to legend, the Yellow Emperor reigned for over 100 years and was deeply loved by the people. He refined alchemy here and eventually ascended to heaven. The people named the mountain after the Yellow Emperor in memory of the Yellow Emperor, and so did Mount Huangshan. In addition to the story of the Yellow Emperor, Mount Huangshan is also associated with many religious figures and events. For example, Rong Chengzi, Fukyu Gong, and other immortal figures mentioned in the old Taoist books of the Tang Dynasty are also said to have made pills in Mount Huangshan and finally ascended to heaven. Up to now, there are still many mountain names related to these fairy stories on Mount Huangshan Mountain, such as Zhuangyuan Peak, Fukyu Peak, etc., as well as places related to alchemy and ascension. In addition to these Taoist-related places, Buddhism has also built many temples in Mount Huangshan. Qiangfu Temple, Seguang Temple, Kuiwei Temple, and Shubo Temple are known as the Four Jungles of Mount Huangshan. Although there are so many scenic spots in Mount Huangshan, our time is limited. What are the most worthwhile places to visit? Now let me tell you the 3 most worthwhile scenic spots in Mount Huangshan: Lianhua Peak, Guangming Peak, and Chengdu Peak. Lianhua Peak, known as the head of the 36 major peaks, has an altitude of 1,864.8 meters. The climbing road of Lianhua Peak has a total length of about 5 miles and a relative height of 110 meters. This winding road has been opened since 1997 and now consists of a walkway, a pier, and an observation deck. The characteristic of Lianhua Peak is that its main peak is abrupt, surrounded by small peaks that look like a blooming lotus from a distance, hence its name. The ancient Chinese referred to the starting gentle slope as lotus stem, and the first stone caves that passed through the middle were described as lotus holes. Tourists will walk through these caves during the process of reaching the summit, experiencing a wonderful feeling as if they are rotating upwards in the sepals. Along the way, not only are the scenery breathtaking, but various cliff inscriptions can also be seen. In addition, Lianhua Peak and Chengdu Peak take turns opening every 5 years. Starting from 2019, Chengdu Peak has been closed for maintenance, while Lianhua Peak is open to the public. This means that when planning to visit Mount Huangshan, tourists need to pay attention to the current opening situation to arrange appropriate itineraries. Guangming Summit is located in the middle of Mount Huangshan Mountain, with an altitude of 1,860 meters, second only to Lianhua Peak, and the second highest peak of Mount Huangshan Mountain. Together with Chengdu Peak and Lianhua Peak, they are known as the 3 main peaks. The summit has a flat terrain and a broad view, offering a panoramic view of the wonders of the East China Sea and the peaks of the West Sea, including Alchemy, Chengdu, Lotus, Yuping, Aoyu, and other peaks. Due to its unique geographical location and altitude, this place has become an ideal place to enjoy sunrise and sunset. In addition, Mount Huangshan Meteorological Station and some accommodation facilities, such as Guangmingding Villa, are also set up near Guangmingding for tourists to choose to stay overnight to watch the sunrise in the morning. Tiandu Peak is one of the three main peaks of Mount Huangshan Mountain. It is famous for its precipitousness and grandeur. It is 1810 meters above sea level and is located in the southeast of Mount Huangshan Mountain. The climbing path of Tiandu Peak is very steep, but the scenery along the way is extremely magnificent. There is a saying that not climbing Tiandu Peak is equivalent to nothing. The peak is as flat as a palm, with a stone carving of ascending the peak to the extreme on it, as well as a natural stone chamber. Outside, there is a stone shaped like a drunken man lying diagonally, known as the Immortal's Gate to the cave. Standing at the peak, you can enjoy a distant view of the connected mountains and rivers. When the weather is good, you can also see the Sea of Clouds. Like Guangming Peak, it is also an excellent place to watch the sunrise and sunset. In addition, although the climbing roads of Tiandu Peak are steep, in order to protect the environment, there is sometimes a rotation system for rest and recuperation to protect vegetation and trail facilities. Therefore, when planning to go, attention should be paid to the current opening situation. Tiandu Peak is famous for its precipitousness, which is more difficult to climb than Lianhua Peak. However, after climbing to the top, you can have a bird's eye view of the magnificent panorama of Mount Huangshan Mountain, which makes you relaxed and happy. The first step on this magical land attracted me deeply to its unparalleled peaks, strange rocks, and sea of clouds. Every landscape is like a meticulously crafted work of art by heaven, making one cannot help but admire the greatness of nature. Every step during the climbing process is a challenge to both physical and mental strength. As the altitude rises, the clouds and mist around us gradually disperse, and those peaks with different shapes seem like the brushes of nature, outlining one stunning picture after another. I said to myself silently in my heart, "This is Mount Huangshan Mountain. This is the fairy land you've always dreamed of." When I stand at the top of the light, gazing at the boundless sea of clouds, the golden sunlight penetrates through the clouds and sprinkles on my face. The warmth and light make me feel the passion and hope of life. I seem to be integrated with the sky, the earth, and all things, experiencing an indescribable realm. The beauty of Mount Huangshan Mountain lies not only in its splendor and strangeness, but also in its ability to touch people's souls and arouse deep resonance. Here, I see my own insignificance and also my own strength. Here, I feel the extraordinary craftsmanship of nature, as well as the never-ending passion of life. Thank Mount Huangshan for its shock and inspiration, and thank nature for giving us such a precious gift. I know that this experience will become the most precious memory in my life, and the beauty and perception of Mount Huangshan will accompany me through every journey in the future.